Spooky season is quickly approaching, so in this video I will be demonstrating this spider pendant. I tried a number of different methods when designing this arachnid, and I think that this was the most beginner friendly version. These are the cabochons that I am using for my spider. If you are using different size stones to me, you will need to adjust the wire lengths accordingly. My oval labradorite is quite a thick stone, and my round abalone is quite thin. The base wires for this project are 20 gauge or 0.8mm round dead soft copper. I have 4 lengths of 11 inches and 1 length of 5 inches. My choice of weaving wire is 30 gauge or 0.2mm, but you can use a slightly thicker wire if you prefer. Start wrapping from just before the middle of the base wire. Wrap 3 times around one of the long base wires. We'll be using a simple zigzag weaving pattern. Add another long wire below the first. Wrap twice around both wires. Place the short wire below the others. Wrap twice around the short wire and the wire above it. Wrap twice around the 2 long wires. Add the next wire above the others. Wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Place the final wire above the others. Wrap twice around the 2 top wires. Wrap twice around the middle wire and the wire above it. Wrap twice around the middle wire and the wire below it. Wrap twice around the 2 bottom wires. Repeat the pattern to create a mirror image of the current pattern. Finish with 3 wraps around the middle wire and remove the excess weaving wire. I am using my stone to roughly gauge where the top of the stone will touch the wires. Start wrapping just before that point. Don't worry about being exact, we can adjust the position later. We will repeat the pattern that we used before, but just weave in one rotation of the pattern. Rotate the wires. We will place another set of weaves the same distance from the centre weave as on the other side. The wires are now upside down, so this time we will work the same pattern but reversed. We start with the usual 3 wraps on the middle wire, but then we work up first towards the shorter wire, then downwards. As we start to shape the wires around the stone, we need to make sure that the short wire will be at the bottom towards the back of the stone. If your weaves are out of position, you can adjust them by sliding them up or down the base wires. Slightly bend the wires above the weaves outwards, to help bring the wires together around the stone. Take the bottom wire, which will be the short wire, and bend it slightly inwards between the woven areas. At the front, slightly bend the wires inwards to fully secure the stone at the front. Take the short wires and bend them inwards over the back of the stone. Take a short piece of weaving wire and wrap the wires together a few times where they meet. Always start and end with the weaving wire trapped between the two base wires. Bend the wires outwards towards the part of the wire going over the stone. Where the wires meet, wrap them together. This is a good use for any short offcuts that you may have. Cut the base wire level with the bottom of the stone. Bend the cut end into a small loop. Repeat on the other side. Starting from the front and alternating from left to right, Cross the wires over each other at the top of the stone. Hold the ruler level with the side of your stone and measure along the lower wires 1¼ inches. Bring the other wires to meet the lower wires and use the original mark to mark the other wires. Starting with the front wires, make a sharp bend at the marks. Where the wire meets the centre of the top of the stone, bend it upwards. For now, leave the 2 back wires. The back wires are bent at the marks the same way as the others, but then left straight. Where the back wires cross the wires going up, bend them tightly around these upward facing wires. Bring both wires to the front and cut off the excess. Separate the bent wires. Take each bent wire and twist it approximately 8 times. Take the top wires and organise them so you have 2 front wires, 2 side wires and 2 back wires. This is the one fiddly bit. You have to hold the small stone in position until the securing wires are tight enough to secure it in position. Take one of the front wires and bend it over the stone between the bottom leg and the top of the bottom stone, and bend the wire to the back of your spider. Follow with the side wire, bending it over the edge of the small stone. Repeat with the other front and side wires. You can feel that the stone is still a little loose, so gently pull the wires at the back to tighten them over the stone. Bend the longest wires to the front between the stones. Adjust the wires to ensure that the stone is fully secured. When you are happy that the stone is secure, remove the excess wires and push the cut ends well down so that they can't be felt. At the back, you can tuck the cut ends into the gap above the bottom stone. Cut the 2 remaining wires to 1/2 inch. I am using the second setting on my bail making pliers to bend these wires into loops. Bend each leg at the middle. Spend some time shaping the legs until you are happy. This is going to be a pendant, so I want my spider to stand on its legs with the body away from the skin, but not too high. I have turned my pendants into necklaces. You can thread a chain or cord through the loops created at the top of the small stone. You could also use the small loops at the end of your spider's legs. For this one I have used some memory wire, which I have just added some hollow rubber insulation tubing and some bead caps. Thank you for viewing. Please join me for my next video.